All right, hey everybody. So we're going to go over the results of the survey on surveyplanet.com. And just so everybody knows, username and password, if anybody wants to log in the future and review this, it's my email, jrufen@gmail.com, and an easy password, 60th Gala, all lowercase, 60THGALA. And there's 16 questions. As of this afternoon, we had 44 participants. Yeah, so we've got 44, and on the site you can scroll through and see who responded. Some were anonymous, other you can see by email. And that could be pertinent just based on one particular question when it talks about what you paid versus the value. So we'll just go question by question again. We'll try to keep it short based on this being a recording for all to see. How would you rate the venue? And I don't look at the rating. I look at the numbers on the right because those are just the raw numbers of what people checked. So we've got 0, poor, and below average, which I'm grateful for. We have 4 average, 13 above average, and 26 excellent. So far, as we see, 67% of the people said it was excellent. Does anybody have any feedback, or should we go on to the next question?
I'd just like to point out that if you do the math, it's nearly 94% thought this was above average or excellent event. So
Yeah,
kudos to everyone, including the attendees of the gala.
absolutely. All right, ready for question two?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. All right. Yeah, and again, okay, and we can see here 43 answered, one did not answer. Okay, drinks bar service. So 0 poor, 5 said below average, 10 said average, 11 said above average, and 15 said excellent. So a little more of a mix there.
I concur with all those. And we talked about that in the committee meeting that we definitely have some room for improvement on the bar service. So I think that the next time we have this, we will have above average excellent.
Yeah,
Are we
I
going over
concur.
comments too that we saw or just not yet?
There's no comments on these.
Yeah, there'll be 3 questions near the end. 13, 14, and 15, I think, have essay format. Everything else is just like a multiple choice type.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So again, 3 didn't answer, 41 answered. How would you rate the food? We've got 0 say poor, 4 say below average, 8 say average, 13 say above average, and 18 say excellent. So again, yeah, doing your math, 80, almost 82% say above average or excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that the food is going to be tough because everyone has different palates. Italian food, Latino food, American food, right? Steaks, shrimp. I'm comfortable with those results.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
No matter what you're going to do, you know who has the occupational specialty in the army at least that has the highest suicide rate is cooks,
Is it?
because cooks
Really?
can never keep people happy. Oh yeah,
Yeah. Wow.
somebody's always complaining no matter what they're
Yeah.
cooking.
Yeah.
So, all right. So 1 did not answer, 43 answered. The decor. Look at this. Hats off to the decor people. 0 poor, 0 below average, 8
Ooh.
average, 19 above average, 16 excellent. So again, we're like 87% basically saying above average or excellent. Nothing below or poor. Obviously, it was
Yeah.
incredible before, I thought.
That's
The
great.
tables were fantastic. A plus.
Yeah. Again.
Hey, hey, hey. No public display of affection.
All
That's
right.
true. Some places you get arrested for that.
All right, we'll go down to the next one. How satisfied were you with the slideshow? Very unsatisfied, 1, unsatisfied, 0, somewhat unsatisfied, 2, somewhat satisfied, 9, 12 satisfied, and 18 very satisfied. And I think obviously we know the deal with a slideshow. We've got to have that dialed in next time to where everybody has a chance
Well,
to
Yeah.
see it.
as an IT person would call it, the blue screen of death. I believe that the blue screen being projected the whole night was probably the reason for the somewhat unsatisfied and very unsatisfied answers. because it
Mm.
was the blue screen of death. If we had played it and then turned it off and then played it again, plus, of course, been ready on time, then we would have much better ratings on this.
Yeah.
And if I was thinking, and I did not think about this till right now, when I called a 10-minute break from 8:15 to 8:25, that would have been a time we could have played the slideshow, let it
Absolutely.
run for another 10 minutes. Never even thought of it till literally right now. All right, good on this one?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Number 6, how satisfied were you with the speakers? And it's just somewhat satisfied, satisfied, and very satisfied. 3, 11, and 29. No surprise there. So yeah, between satisfied and very, we're above 90%.
Mm.
Good there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Excellent. And we did have fantastic speakers.
Yeah.
Overall program. Um, and
Mm-hmm.
again, very unsatisfied, unsatisfied, somewhat unsatisfied, all zeros. 2, somewhat satisfied, 13, satisfied. 70%, 28 people said very satisfied, and I certainly concur with that.
Good.
Yeah.
Good on that one?
Yep.
Okay. How would you rate the value for the price you paid? And this would be one we could pick apart if we really wanted to, but the thing is, all we got was 3 averages, no below or poor, and then 11 above and 29 excellent. The only thing I would say to this question is if you're a person that's a non-member and you invited a +1, you're paying $80 versus I'm there with Amy, it's $40. So I may rate it differently, saying, man, that's a steal for $40. Where we did have a couple people that I know, one communicated with me and one with Carmelo that they were past members and they didn't want to pay $40. So, and again, that's their call. But I was wondering what this was going to look like, and I was pleasantly, I won't say surprised, but I was happy to see these numbers.
So
But
to
I'm
expand on
wondering how
that,
much they would want to pay then. What they wanted the member rate?
I know, and you never know when people are struggling with money, and they're not going to say that, but they might
Yeah.
push back. $40, because somebody got really indignant with me about it. But he's someone that was a member years ago,
Mhm.
and it's okay.
Yeah, but what
So-
about probably in the future, maybe gonna be too much, but to think of that, the member one price, the former member another price, and the guest. So that's the member that were not member now, they were member at one point, they have a little caution. I know it's gonna be 3 price point, but that's mean they're a little bit inclusive, but they pay a little bit more than the actual member.
Like $30?
Yeah, like we pay 20, they pay 30, and the other one 40.
I
Just
was
to
going to
make
say that.
them.
that's a good idea.
I
So
like that 20, 30, 40.
Yeah.
let me just state this just for the future. Maybe in 5 years, someone's going to watch this video to get some ideas. So let's just be clear. This year, 2023, we charge $20 for a member to get into this event. It's an all-inclusive event, if you will, entertainment, alcohol, food for $20. And that is a steal and a half. Now the club subsidized the difference, but that's a steal. A non-member, including a past member, a non-member paid $40. But for $40, it's still a steal. Boy, there's a wordplay for you. It's still a steal because they got entertainment, they got alcohol, and they had food. It was a 3-hour evening from 6 to 9 p.m., and it's a deal and a half. Now, to someone's point, $40 for a non-member and $40 for their guests is $80. Well, again, it's still a steal, but it is a lot of money, and especially a lot of money for some people and not so much for others, but it's still a bargain. I like the idea that you came up with, 20, 30, and $40. Have a tier for past members
To
and make
acknowledge them,
to
yes.
acknowledge them. I like that idea a lot and wish we had thought about it. It worked out, and our budget was good. We brought in basically what we spent with a little bit of subsidizing by the club. And more importantly than anything, we had a 95.5% average and above rating. I'm sorry, above average and excellent rating.
Yeah. Yeah.
So almost 100% of the people said the price was right for the value that we got. So once again, kudos to everyone,
Yeah.
Especially Jeff. That's
including Jeff.
yeah, no, especially Jeff.
Oh, especially.
Except what they said,
Oh,
except for Jeff.
oh, except.
All right, ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Okay, how much time did you have to visit with other attendees? Um,
Too much.
that's an introvert to put too much. So 29 said adequate and 13 said not enough. And again, I'll address this from the standpoint of, and this is going to be in the comments too, and we've already talked about it. If we had kept the speakers on time, we had budgeted in about 30 minutes because we were going to try to wrap up around 8:20 and have from about 8:20 or 8:25 till 8:55 when Jordan was going to come back. Instead, we had a 10-minute break, seventh inning stretch style, and then came back for another 20 minutes or so. So they only got the dining time and then about 10 more minutes. Our plan had been to have 30 minutes, and had we had better control of the speakers, we could have had that. So I do think it's interesting, and I agree with that. Um, Not enough time to socialize, especially when we were done at 9. Our marching orders, as we all know, was time to vacate as soon as possible, and as long as you're in the motion of breaking down, packing up, that's good. So some people did mingle, but pretty quickly, I would say by 9:30, I think we all were pretty much 90% were pretty much outside of the venue. So
So let me expand on that because I think this is going to be a point of discussion for the next gala. And it doesn't have to be an anniversary gala, it could be just our next big party. But in this year, we started at 6 and we ended at 9 with an hour to clean up and an hour before a setup. I agree. My personal opinion is that it'd be nice if we had more time. Of course, more time means more rent, more expense, but I think it's worth it. Even if we had to raise the cost of the ticket to pay for the extra hour. The other choice, of course, would be to tighten up our program to be done by 8:30 if we're leaving at 9, because then there is 30 minutes of social time. In this case, our event ran till the end. So I would let the next committee consider maybe starting a little bit early, maybe staying a little bit late, maybe shortening the program, tightening it up because people spoke more than their allotted time. It is what
everybody except Will, just
That's
for
right.
the record.
I was quick.
So and that's what Toastmasters do, right? That's why we're some of us are DTMs. We don't talk much. Not.
Well, and I think also it's worth noting at the 50th, D. Melvin and Blake Smith were the only two speakers, and D spoke for 4 minutes, and Blake, I'll get it in a minute here. I have it. Blake spoke for how long? Well, he spoke for 9 minutes this time. Okay, Blake spoke for 12 minutes and the 50th. So between D and Blake, it was a total of 17 speaking minutes. This time, our speakers went for 63 minutes. So between 17 minutes and 63, that's a pretty big delta. And don't forget that at the last minute, for reasons beyond my comprehension, there was a fifth speaker added who was going to be the MC, and at the last minute, he jumped in as speaker number 5, and it was one of the supposed 7-minute speakers. So, yeah, we had people speak. The 7-minute speakers went anywhere from 8.5 minutes to 14 minutes. And the 2-minute speakers went as long as 3 minutes and 41 seconds. Good job, Amy. So yeah, I think if we were to dial that back and have control, and we'll see in the comments, this is discussed with some feedback,
Yeah,
and I think that would self-correct.
Yeah.
Somewhere between 17 minutes for the 50th and 63 minutes for this one is the right answer for how long speeches should go.
And
I read that in the comments, and I mean that's a self-correcting issue.
so full disclaimer, these are our opinions, not to be taken because if you look at the chart, 97.5% of the people thought it was adequate. Oh no, there says not enough time. Oh.
Yeah, the adequate, but 2/3.
Again,
2 out of 3. Yeah, and
two-thirds,
1
okay.
out of 3 said not enough.
Yeah, that's almost a joke, but okay. Yeah, so 2/3 thought it was enough time. So it's taken under advisement. All right.
All right, ready?
Yep.
Go to question 10. Did it meet your expectations in terms of formality and atmosphere? 0 said too formal, 41 said just right, 2 said not formal enough.
I think I was accidentally hit not formal enough. I tried to hit just right as I was walking to the
Okay.
hospital, and it just
Yeah, okay.
hit the wrong button.
Yeah,
It's
so
fine.
this is, this answers the question right here, and it felt right to me for sure. And everybody's, because it's not meant to be. I know somebody asked early on, is this going to be black tie? And it's like, we're not putting on a show for each other. This is a chance to get together, and really, if we dress up somewhat like we do on Fridays, we want everybody to have a comfortable, relaxed time. Yeah, we'll dress up a little bit, but
People like to dress up,
yeah,
not necessarily in a tuxedo, but people like to dress up, and people complain
and
about it.
people did dress up too.
Yeah, people complain about dressing up, but a lot of people. I remember Omira was all excited when she found out it was going to be formal.
Yeah,
She was truly excited. Oh, good! I get to wear my favorite dress.
yeah.
I actually brought out a new tie. I'd never worn another
There you
tie.
go.
I was like, all right, cool.
All right.
Yeah. All right, ready? All right, next one. How satisfied were you with the overall experience? There's always an outlier. I don't know who would put very unsatisfied. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't even know what that means. We may see it in the comments.
yeah.
Unsatisfied 0, somewhat unsatisfied 0, somewhat satisfied 1, and then uh, 10 satisfied, 30 very, very satisfied. And for context, we add those together, we're at 97%. So again, I think that speaks for itself. There could always be, who knows, somebody could have had a disagreement with someone, somebody could have,
Yeah, there's no real.
who knows, but those are obviously, as Malcolm Gladwell would say, those are the outliers.
Well, and the fact that number one, very unsatisfied, right? Very is a very strong word, and it's equally as strong as the word hate. Very unsatisfied. Two people. But when it comes to unsatisfied, which is a bad word, but not as bad as very, and no one gave us that rating. And then somewhat unsatisfied. So to your point, Jeff,
Well, no, 0 somewhat on, 1 is somewhat satisfied.
right? So
So
somewhat unsatisfied is 0,
yeah,
unsatisfied is 0. So the two people that said very unsatisfied, to your point, there's probably an underlying issue
yeah,
because that's a very strong word.
that's a stick in the eye.
It's a yeah.
That's like, ugh.
So
Not happy.
Like, whoa, sorry.
so based on that theory, I think it's fair to discount those because we don't know what they were having in their personal life or the person they were with or the person in the room.
Or to Will's point, they could have been walking and doing it on their
Yeah,
phone or something, and accident thought they hit the right thing. It's like,
Yeah.
so, but those are obviously, it would be different. Like you say, if it was too very, too unsatisfied, too some,
then you could kind of.
yeah. The fact that we jumped from very unsatisfied all the way to somewhat satisfied,
To 90, what did you say, 97%?
yeah, and not even counting somewhat. The satisfied and very, we're at 97.5. So that to me, that's a done deal.
Yeah,
Good. Ready for the next one?
I am.
Okay. What did you enjoy most? And what I'm going to do, because again, this is being recorded, we'll just kind of scroll through here and see. And I did appreciate people took the
Even,
time.
even today, 7 hours ago, 2 hours ago, that's very nice of people to
Yeah,
answer at the last minute.
that was all the people I was texting today, trying to do a last minute, like, can I
Yeah,
get
2 hours
anybody?
was me.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, it says from me, Will.
Yeah.
Speeches, perspectives, speakers, history, camaraderie. Yeah, that was good when you held up the red light. That was a funny bit, but also maybe not a funny bit, a serious bit too. It was in keeping with our strict rules about maximum time limits for speakers.
Yeah.
Well, that's funny. The speakers were stellar. Almost all, at least.
Yeah, when I read that, I was like, oh, am I in that?
You
The
are.
venue, the quality. Okay, keep going. Sticking to the schedule. That's funny. And you guys remember that's when I saw that
Yeah.
Mark Shear was finishing up, it's like 8:54, and our schedule said 8:55 for
Mhm.
Jordan. Could everybody look at your phones or watches? Tell me what time it is, and they're like 8:55. If you look at the schedule, we are right on time.
That was brilliant.
That was me
That's great.
camouflaging the fact that we were about 35 minutes over, and we should have had about a 35-minute break.
It's truly brilliant. Did I say that twice?
Beautiful camaraderie. Food was excellent. Speakers were awesome. I enjoyed seeing and listening to most of the speakers.
Yeah.
Would have been more balanced if we had more women. And yeah, I wish Bonnie would have showed up. Camaraderie, young faces, older core group. Get a long hook for Roy next time. Class act, laughter and fun, rekindle some old relationships. And I like that social part is acknowledged because so far a lot of this is the program. Speakers, slideshow, nostalgia, everything. A couple got lost on memory lane. Yep, we know who those were. Seeing old friends, speeches, history. Whoops. Food, the friends, speakers, seeing everyone. Excellent speakers, emotional. Members, old friends, MC, drinks, Roy, humor and the diversity. Another hour would have been nice. I don't know about that.
Hmm.
So,
Well, some
any
suggested
comments on those?
an after party somewhere else, a different venue. So that's something to consider for next time.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
something I had thought about as well.
Yeah,
Because people ended up at Armando's.
Armando's, and who knows? Because it seems like they were closing down, and we kind of had the run of the place at least outside.
Yeah.
That could be a possible. That would be an interesting thing to look into next time,
Yeah.
because a lot of people wanted to continue hanging out. All right. Any comments, or we'll move to the next? We have two more with feedback, like essay like this.
I'm good.
Okay. Any aspects that you found memorable or well executed? Okay, that's you saying my off the cuff humor. Okay.
Mhm.
Speakers, callbacks, MC, speeches, MC, everything appeared flawless. All well done. Roy's humor never disappoints. Tim Conyers, I'm glad they acknowledged that because that was a really nice touch.
Yeah, absolutely was.
Humor and
Tim
great
Conyers
delivery.
played the piano, for
Yes.
just to make that clear.
Structure, flow, social hour, decor well executed, speakers easily heard and seen. And we had a discussion about that because something had been said about the speakers maybe being up on the stage. And I said, you know what? I just watched the 50th. Let's leave the lectern where it is on the floor because that feels more connecting with people. Trophy giveaway was fun. Seeing old friends, piano playing, timeliness, history, short and long speeches, and I think that's the first
Short.
that's been acknowledged. The 2 minute and the 7 minute, and that's different than what they did at the 50th with um, the roving speakers, where Roy in about 20 minutes heard from 12 different people. So yeah, we would have to add the 20 to what did I say before? It was another 13 between 17. So 37 minutes of speeches, counting Roy doing those little popcorn going around person to person interviewing people. 37 versus 63 for those paying attention to that. Piano playing, a non-drinker, barely old enough,
Yeah,
providing the alcohol.
I enjoyed that comment.
Yeah.
Time I had to visit with guests, professional. Oh, that was, yeah. Amy said she says, it's me because I'm going on and on about the MC Jeffrey. She did it anonymously, but okay. Slideshow was a very nice surprise, and I'm glad somebody acknowledged that, especially since we kind of screwed it up a little bit versus how it was supposed to go. Table decor was perfect. I agree.
Yep.
Everyone able to eat before it started. Speeches and slides.
Yep.
All right, catering and food, setup, decor, centerpieces.
Kudos to Carmelo.
Any, yes, for the food. Any comments on memorable, well executed? Now we come to a big part of why we do these. Suggestions for improvement or changes for future events. Okay, yeah, I know who commented on this, setting up
Yeah.
the bar first, getting it up and running a little sooner. Need additional bartenders. Plates should be at the buffet line, not at the table. Add description to food on buffet. I have seen, Amy and I have gone to get togethers where that's a requirement. People ask, bring a dish and also list sometimes even the ingredients because more and more people have food allergies.
Yeah.
So yeah, the description to the food on the buffet, that could be a nice touch.
I like
That's
that
good
idea.
because like there was a couple behind me, they were Indian couple and they were asking what is this and what is that? So I was telling them because some people did not like, especially one of the meats, they weren't sure if there was pork. Like Garen asked me, I said,
Right.
I know we didn't order any pork. So he's like, okay. And
Yeah.
one of the couples, I said, "Oh, this is, the plantain," and they're like, "Oh, I know that." So it does save time to label. So if we know
All right.
ahead, it's easy to print up, and there's nice little paper, fancy papers you could do it on.
So let's spend a little extra time on these because I think these are probably the most important questions because this is open-ended. What can we do to improve? What did you like best about the event? I'm not sure what the question was, but that's basically what this is saying.
Suggestions for improvement or changes for future
There you
events.
go. So, you know, yeah, go ahead. This I love these. This
Yeah.
is the most
Yeah.
important question.
Plates, and we talked about this. Should the plates be at the buffet line or at the table? And we decided at the table. It could just as easily be at the buffet line. That's fine.
Yeah. So that's easy
Um,
fix
yeah.
at the buffet.
Assign 2 people to bring a corkscrew, so at least we have one.
Yeah, there were a lot of corkscrew comments.
Time after to socialize. But again, if we had had the 30 minutes like we were supposed to, might have been a different, thoughts on
Yeah.
that. Bump up the cost for a little better venue and or food. But everybody raved about the venue, so I don't think the venue is the issue, and most people like the food.
Yeah.
True. Yep.
Let's do them more often. I like that. That's a very positive comment. Appreciation and compliments only. More involvement of newer members, and that's one of the reasons
Yeah.
that we, okay, no, just do it again. And corkscrews, corkscrews, corkscrews. But I
Oh
think
my
this was the
God.
same.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, 'cause
somehow I think that somebody said second time I've completed it because I ended up doing some mass emails to everybody just to try to get responses. Great and wonderful. None, not really. Like the venue speeches. Proud to be a member. Limit Tim Ricky to 2 minutes.
I saw that one.
Okay.
That's fun.
Yeah.
And again,
That made me laugh.
Tim gets a pass for that night, just finding out that his adult son had passed away within 24 hours before that.
Mhm.
Larger area for mingling. Well executed. None. More vegetarian food.
So let me
And that may be something to consider seriously for next time,
Yeah, more
variety
people are.
wise.
so let me address the maybe we should do this yearly. So this particular event was an anniversary gala. I think every 5 years would be appropriate. 10 years is probably too long. I think every 5 years, but there's nothing wrong with having a gala of some sort more often. I wouldn't say every year, but maybe if we did a gala more often, but it was focused more on the newer members as opposed to the older members, the veterans, because isn't that what it really is all about? Is is the newer members helping them become better communicators, better leaders, and showcasing their skills, the things that they have accomplished over the last 1 or 2 years, as opposed to somebody who is a 42-year veteran. I'm not opposed to 42-year veterans, but I like that suggestion. I think that's something that we can put under advisement, under consideration.
Yeah, we could do like a big dinner or something every year or something.
Right.
Yeah, and to that point, I was the one that really championed the idea of having Roy and Tim and Ty get up and speak because of, two are 80 or in their early 80s, one is 75, and I thought if we're only doing this every 10 years, actuarial tables would indicate they may not be around 10 years from now. And it's another reason why we talked about maybe doing it every 5 years and just have a chance to highlight them because I saw a lot of people at the 50th that are not alive anymore at our 60th. But yeah, the idea of if we did something like this every 5 years, it could be more of a reflection, history, kind of what we did this time. If we did something annual, that could be something that we would just have a different, thematically, it would be different.
Yeah.
And it could allow somebody like a Will Hammond to get up and speak. Hey, I'm still speaking to Toastmasters, but this is more of a formal where you get a feel. What would it feel like for me to be an MC
Yeah.
at an actual dinner?
Mhm.
Not Friday morning at,
Yeah.
at the Civic Center at 8 in the morning. Man, at dinner, people just finish their dinner and I'm getting up to speak.
Mhm.
And I think that could be, and we know we have a good relationship now with the people at the university club. So I know they'd be amenable to having us back. And for $700, tough to beat that price.
Yeah,
Can't.
that was good.
We
Uh,
shopped it. Everywhere else is double.
Okay, there was a lot of talk about diversity throughout the evening. Unfortunately, the selected speakers did not represent a great deal of diversity, perhaps a greater mix going forward. Again, had Bonnie been there,
Yeah.
in retrospect, I don't know how we missed Benjamin Urrutia. He's been a member forever. And I'm glad that comment was made.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Speakers need to stay on a lot of time. Yes. Food was very selective and not hot. Again, I think we're always going to have that issue no matter what we have. Better service at the bar. We've talked about that. Roving microphone. And again, I think that's up for debate. You know, I liked the 50th where Roy roved and talked to 12 people in 20 minutes, but I feel like we got better quality by having people prepare something. And I will say, if you guys haven't seen it, it's kind of more of a shuck and jive thing, and people say a little bit, and it's, you know, it's a little sillier. I like that we did it this way. It felt a little more professional with people being able to plan their remarks.
Yep.
Talking about themes, idea for the future, talking to specific themes of the club's history, speakers, mishaps, changes in venues, and by change in venues, talking about all the different places we've met over the years. Also, should have Toastmaster area and district leadership speak. I would say I totally disagree with that. Um, Nothing against D Melvin, nothing, but this is our club, and I just love the fact that we did a celebration for our club,
I
and we
concur.
didn't think about, oh, what, you know, what's the right thing to do?
Yeah,
Like, let's do what's right for us. And I like this point, especially if I had known in advance, like sooner than 15 minutes, a lot more that I was going to be the MC. I did think, you know, nobody likes, like, I didn't go with Amy to a recent high school reunion she had because guess what? They're going to be talking about stuff from years ago, and I'm not going to be. It's going to be like all inside jokes. So I like this comment about um, just basically creating a venue that everybody can appreciate, inclusive of non-member spouses and significant others. You know, we're talking all about Toastmasters, but how do we make sure to include those guests?
Good comment.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Um, well, and maybe get a new member to come up and say how much they've enjoyed it in the short time they've been there. Hello, Wilhelm, in
Yeah.
how many months?
Yeah, I was about to say
That was you.
that was me.
Yeah,
I did that.
we've talked about the bar staff. Here, we'll load some more. Book a separate space for interacting with other guests. Reserve that for an hour. Shorten the formal portion. Yes, we've already talked about that. And yeah, maybe in Armando's or something after the fact. Speaker lights. We talked about that last time. I
Mhm.
totally concur.
I agree.
There's nothing wrong with that. If awards are presented, they not be gag awards, but awards worthy of the event to be prized. Maybe. Um, I don't know what better communication for the participants are, but again, if somebody looks at this in the future, you can actually cross-reference and see who made these comments. Unless they put anonymous, we can find out who it is. Less speakers, someone listen to the speeches beforehand, get the speakers free reign to ramble, practice the slideshow. Yeah. Yeah, could have run the whole cocktail time. That was a miss. Obviously, that was
Yeah.
our plan. Recognizing the past presidents that are in attendance, that's on the MC. I failed to do that. The food wasn't hot, which made it not great for such a special occasion. Um, all right. I wrote this next one. To do a better job of wrangling all speakers are either time, stress it beforehand and on the day of, then have timing lights for all to see and have them wrap up if it goes 30 seconds over for 2 minutes or a minute over for 7. Also, less speakers. Amy, the day before, told me she was practicing her 2 minute speech, and she goes, "My speech is 6 minutes long."
No.
Then she said, seriously, she with a straight face, she said, "Do you think that'll be a problem?" When I got done with my exclamatory remarks, I said, "Yes, it's going to be a problem. You're a 2 minute speaker." She's, well, I said, "Ask Jordan." If I'm thinking, have some fun, ask Jordan as the program director and see what he said I shouldn't go over more than like 30 seconds. I'm like, I just wanted you to hear that from someone other than
That's a table topic right there. Two
yeah.
minute speech, table topic.
That's how I saw it. I'm like, I got a table topic up here.
All right, better planning for the program and speakers. And again, I think we've talked about that. Fundamental, we know we've got to rein in the speakers. And yeah, maybe we do ask, hey, can you give us kind of a thumbnail of what you're planning to talk about? I remember I asked Carson at one point, and they said all the speakers, Blake jumped in last minute, but all the speakers, Carson was able to tell me what each of them thematically were going to speak about, and each of them were speaking about something different. Because like Blake had free reign 10 years ago because it was just him and D Melvin was doing the kind of, you know, district officer hand wave of "it's so good to be here with Club 3674." So Blake didn't have any competition to deconflict with. And I thought our speakers did do a good job of being deconflicted, but and with timing lights. And that's why I said if we stress it ahead of time, like you have 7 minutes. The MC will get up. You're going to see lights coming on, and then the MC's almost if we had music like they have at the Oscars, where we can play people
Mhm.
off, and they just keep talking, would be like the pro thing to do. Any other feedback on this question?
That's it.
I think it's
All right. How likely would you be to attend another event like this in the future? Again,
Wow.
very nice, not at all 0, not so likely, somewhat likely 0, very likely 10, extremely 6. I changed at this point I realized, oh, I can actually change what these are called. So I changed it from whatever it was to I'm there. And 27, yeah, 70% basically said I'm there. Add extremely
But
likely.
100% said very likely or better.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it was
yeah,
nobody was
Even the people that were unsatisfied about whatever it was before,
they're coming back.
they're coming back.
they're coming back.
Yeah,
But it's probably just a mess up when they were trying to type it in. If they were
yeah.
in the anywhere from very
Yeah.
likely to I'm there.
Good on this
Well,
one?
Yeah.
I'm good in this, and I just want to. I'm so proud of all of us for putting this event on from start to finish. I'd like to say it went perfect, but nothing's ever perfect. There's always room for improvement. Those are words of Jeff, by the way. And I'm so proud of all of us for doing this with very few glitches. There was no devastating glitches. Let's put it that way.
And let's be honest, it's the best one we've done in 10 years. And how about a hand for our leader, our
Yay.
chairperson, Tim Linger?
Oh, that's me. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So the most important question is question 16.
How cool is it that you made it through all 15 of the questions of this survey?
I had to just throw a silly question in at the end.
That's good. That's nice humor.
So yeah, about 81% thinks the 60th Gala committee is the best. So that's good.
Yeah, look at that. Number 2, cooler than you making this the 16th question.
Yeah.
I'm freaking ecstatic.
That's
So
cool.
yeah, I tried to tease people. I tried to make it something because who likes to do surveys? But hey, look out for question 16. You're gonna love
Yeah.
question 16.
I almost
So
clicked 1 just to for the.
I don't know. It's
So-
doing my duty. Somebody should have. Yeah.
Well,
I thought about it when I
My
was walking
favorite was
through.
number 2.
81%
Yeah.
said the Gala committee was the best.
I decided to pick that just because I wanted to say I was the best.
Yeah. I checked number 2 because I had the most fun. I like number cooler than you making this the 16th question.
Yeah.
So, well, that's it. I know we didn't want to keep this real long. Any closing comments from anybody? Tim, do you want to wrap us
I've
up?
said enough. So how about Lazar or Kathy?
No, I think the survey was pretty good and it makes sense. And yeah, definitely could learn from it. Remember those corkscrews or just easier wine bottle that opens up.
Yeah.
Well,
I think for me, I think this survey summarized what even the committee had really found out. This was just the confirmation of what we were thinking right after the event, because when we got together, those are the things we pull out just among us. We saw all those, and then we did the survey. It just confirmed. So we know next time to take in account all those and make it better. So I'm so happy that I was part of it, and the group did an amazing job. Proud.
Will,
I'm happy to be a part of the group, and I'm happy to get to know all of you better through it. And I
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
it was fun.
well, I will say one thing, that we did gain a member, probably because of the Gala.
Oh, really?
Steve
Oh.
Schaefer. Steve Schaefer.
Is he back?
He's back.
And Jeff Hood is back.
Jeff Hood.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Jeff
Jeff
Hood
Hood is
joined.
back, not Steve Schaefer.
Yeah.
But Steve Schaefer will come back. But that's right. Jeff Hood joined
Jeff,
our
yeah.
club again,
Oh yeah, I remember talking.
and probably because of the Gala. Because I think we've been encouraging him to rejoin the club, and he's always too busy. He's got a lot of things going on, and he decided to come to the Gala. He must have loved it so much, and reminiscing with all the members that he's been really good friends with in the past.
Yeah.
And when I saw him this past Saturday, he said he joined.
Wonderful.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kudos, everyone.
That's
Kudos.
good.
And it was nice too that we had those weekly meetings coming up, so to confirm everything. And it was nice working as a team because everybody listened to each other. So that was good.
Should we acknowledge everybody's name for the recording, including those that aren't here as part of the committee?
All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Will Hammond.
And what was your job?
I was the alcohol chair.
Barely old enough.
Barely
to-
old enough to.
Well, I was the vice president of, I'm sorry, yeah, VP of PR, which means by default, I'm the Gala committee person. And my job was just about nothing except watching everyone else work. Thank you very much.
Jeffrey Fanat, and I was responsible for outreach, trying to get people to RSVP and come to our big show.
Super successful because we were sold out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Lazar, did
Yes,
you do
me,
anything?
Lazar, I was the director of cleaning. So I'm the one who makes sure that everything was cleaned up within the time, and we did it.
I'm Kathy Leckadu, and my job was decor, making sure everything looked good and in place and looking great.
Yeah.
Rebecca Eggleton, treasurer, and did an amazing job.
Yeah, budgeted.
Professor
to
Jordan
the penny.
Canmaker was, and Professor Jordan Canmaker was in charge of the programs. Did a good job.
Excellent.
And
then
Carmelo Bellardo III was in charge of the food.
Yes.
amazing, perfect,
Yeah.
And we had
I
Tim
that's it.
Conyers in charge of music.
correct. And Carson Schaefer in charge of various things, audio, video, visual. And who else
like-
contributed some or more?
That was the committee.
That was the committee.
That's it,
That was
yeah.
it.
That's the backbone of the committee with a few other Toastmasters helping out here and there.
Yeah.
So, yay for us.
We'll see you in 5 years or sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 years.
Hey.